You don't worry about cancel culture, huh?
Huh? Why would you cancel things that are great for the culture?
Right.
Like, I mean, like, I was like, cancel, like, Monique, why is she canceled? I had to revisit that because it was like, it didn't make sense to me. And I said, but you Tyler Perry, and you never told anyone to.
Actress and comedian Monique has been vociferous in her criticism of Bishop T.D. Jakes and Tyler Perry, among other media moguls, for many years. Not only has she voiced her general displeasure, but she has also leveled specific and unsettling accusations against them, charging that they support a system that takes advantage of young boys for personal benefit. These are grave charges, yet the public mainly disregarded or ignored them for a very long period. Her remarks were seen by many as the product of her desire to stir up controversy and her unhappiness with her profession. But the story has changed dramatically. 50 Cent, a rapper and businessman, has come out in favor of Monique and her assertions. 50 Cent, who is renowned for his tough attitude and readiness to confront authority, is giving Monique's charges a lot of weight. Not only is he agreeing with her, but he's also making a concerted effort to bring attention to what he sees as an extremely concerning circumstance. This goes beyond celebrity rumors. These are grave accusations that could have a large-scale impact. Due to 50 Cent's participation, Monique's claims must be investigated more thoroughly. It's important to keep in mind that Monique has remained steadfast, notwithstanding all of the speculative activity, economic transactions, and power struggles. She has been fighting Tyler Perry for years, enduring rejections, resistance from the industry, and overt attempts to silence her. She's been referred to be tough, resentful, and worse, but she has never backtracked from her charges. She now has a strong ally on her side. In addition to giving her words of encouragement, 50 Cent has promised to battle by her side. He's elevating her voice and asking that her accusations be taken seriously by putting them back into the public eye by leveraging his position. It's personal now, not just about business or Hollywood shenanigans. Recognizing the unfairness of Monique's circumstances, 50 Cent has made a public pledge to support her in her pursuit of justice. With 50 Cent's connections, money, and unflinching resolve at her disposal, Monique may finally have the power to shatter the glass ceiling and demand the responsibility she is due. This is a story about speaking truth to power, demanding justice, and standing up to oppression. It is no longer just a Hollywood production. All right, so you know how 50 Cent has supported Monique during this entire Tyler Perry controversy. He really did take it to a new level. Let me tell you, 50 was blown away when he attended Monique's stand-up gig over Super Bowl weekend. "Yo, Monique had me in a trance. That show was fire," he wrote on Instagram. He meant it, if not quite in those terms. It is obvious that 50 Cent is fully in support of Monique, and he isn't just talking the talk. He is putting his money where his mouth is by promoting her work and demonstrating to everyone that she is a force to be reckoned with. I'm telling you that with 50 on her side, Monique is unstoppable. He was hyping her up so hard, telling everyone they have to see her live, and then get this. He shared this Meshuggah clip that Monique made mixing Precious with Power Book 2. I haven't seen it yet, but knowing those two, it's got to be wild. "I got to get Monique back in pocket," he captioned the clip, and it gets even better. 50 Cent isn't shying away from the blackballing issue either. He straight up said, "We only cancel stuff that's bad for the culture. We need you to win again now, Monique." He's basically calling out the industry for shutting her out and saying, it's time for her comeback. Then he took it even further, posting, "All in favor of Monique being back on top. Say make it happen 50. Stop ******ing around." He's rallying the troops, getting everyone fired up for Monique's return. And you know what? The fans are here for it. The comments were full of people saying they want to see Monique in 50's Power universe. Can you imagine? With 50 Cent in her corner, hyping her up and calling for her comeback. I think Monique is about to show everyone what she's really made of. Get ready, world, because Monique is back. But why is all of this happening? Well, it's because of what happened with the movie Precious. Do you remember how Monique has been saying she was blackballed after Precious? She's always pointed the finger at Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah, saying they shut her out because she wouldn't do those unpaid press tours. They'd always denied it. But get this, Monique was on this show, Turned Out with T.S. Madison, and she dropped a bombshell. She said Tyler Perry finally called her to apologize for how she was treated, and apparently she recorded the whole conversation. The show's host even said she's heard the recording, so it's not just Monique's word against theirs anymore. This changes everything. If Tyler Perry really did apologize, it basically confirms that Monique was right all along. He might try to spin it, but an apology speaks volumes. I can't wait to hear this recording and see how Tyler Perry tries to explain himself now. Monique is telling the truth, Madison said. Oftentimes when it comes to a black woman speaking up and speaking out, it goes unheard until she dies. Then once she dies, then we go back and say, well, she was right and let's make a movie about it, Monique said during the show. For those of you who are unaware, Tyler Perry and Monique are the subjects of some shocking revelations from 50 Cent. He revealed all the details of his plan to resurrect Monique's acting career on Big Boy's Neighborhood. And he did not hold back, believe me. 50 Cent made it apparent that he wasn't only the person who cast Monique in Season 2 of BMF, by confirming that he was the one who did so. After years of being shunned, he is determined to support her in reestablishing her career. This is the truly good part, though. In fact, 50 Cent confronted Tyler Perry about the entire situation. He claimed to have had a private meeting with Tyler Perry where he defended Monique and confronted him head-on about his part in hindering her career. Even so, could you see yourself as a fly on the wall during that exchange? Recognizing 50 Cent, he didn't hold back. In essence, he confronted Tyler Perry with his own reasoning. How has Monique been unemployed for 13 years for something she said? He thought to himself. In fact, he said that he found it hard to comprehend Tyler Perry endorsing such blackballing. Then this bomb was dropped by 50 Cent. He claimed that after discussing it with Tyler Perry, Perry stated, "Nah, I never told anyone not to work with her." However, 50 Cent confronted him with reality, telling him, "But you're Tyler Perry. You never told anyone to work with her, even if you didn't specifically advise them not to." Tyler Perry reportedly thought, "Oh my goodness, I never thought of it like that at that point. Is that really true?" Tyler Perry seemed to have suddenly realized how much his words and deeds spoke for himself. While he may not have deliberately shunned Monique, he certainly did not offer any assistance to her. Who better to expose his hypocrisy than 50 Cent? This is far more than just casting Monique in his program. 50 Cent is standing up for what he thinks is right by risking his own reputation and professional relationships. He is aware of Monique's talent and her mistreatment, and he will not remain mute in the face of it. I feel that Monique is going to have her final laugh, especially with 50 Cent supporting her in this way. This is only the beginning of her comeback tale. Before he would even give her the benefit of the doubt, he wanted her to retract what she had said and acknowledge that she was mistaken. But Monique was having none of it. It seems like 50 Cent is holding Tyler Perry accountable for his actions, something no other person in Hollywood has been willing to do. This whole situation is messy, but I'm here for Monique to finally get the recognition and support she deserves. If you thought it could get any juicier, it does. She publicly called him out, saying, "Eventually the people will listen, and do something about you not keeping your word. I am not going anywhere." During a live Instagram video stream, Monique and her spouse, Sydney Hicks, aired the audio of Tyler Perry's apologies. Is it really true? They had no intention of play. Tyler Perry seemed to be expressing regret in his voice when he admits to mistreating Monique. Talk about putting it all on display, I mean. It was obvious that Monique and Sydney wanted everyone to hear the unvarnished truth. But there's still more. Tyler Perry and 50 Cent aren't the only targets. He also has Bishop T.D. Jakes in his sights. Yes, 50 Cent is exposing the megachurch pastor for his own set of dubious practices. As stated by 50, TD in addition, Jakes takes advantage of others and abuses his position of authority. Recall how Monique spent years accusing Perry and Jakes of unscrupulous behavior? It appears that 50 Cent did his homework and thinks she is speaking the truth. This is quite significant. Two of the most influential leaders in Black entertainment and religion are facing up against 50 Cent and Mo. He is not frightened by their wealth, power, or reputations. His goal is to reveal the truth and make them answerable for their deeds. What's truly intriguing, This is not TD's first experience. Someone has called Jakes out. For years, rumors have swirled around him regarding his dubious activities, particularly his relationship with Diddy. Long-running rumors and charges have surrounded the two.
Hello? I once had Diddy text me welcome to the family, but I was by a platinum-selling producer who was one of his cohorts.
He recently made some quite strange remarks during a sermon. It would have engulfed me. Have you ever experienced engulfment? Have you ever experienced a period of time when everything seemed too much to handle? Isn't that strange now? Monique is criticizing TD Jakes for seeming a little too familiar with the topic as he is out here preaching about some come-out-of-the-closet metaphor. Monique, I see you. The queen of uncensored comedy is the perfect person to voice what others are thinking. Hold on, Bishop. Why are we now discussing swallowing during a sermon? She asks. Are you attempting to communicate with us? And you've swallowed that line, yeah, NG, have you? I've passed away. While everyone else is playing checkers, Monique is outside playing chess. She doesn't hesitate to expose hypocrisy, especially when it is from a prominent megachurch pastor. Furthermore, what do you know? I'm prepared for it. And it seems that everyone is in agreement. According to a supporter, TD Jakes was concealed from view the entire time. I understand that people from various backgrounds can be friends, but something about a megachurch pastor hanging out with Diddy at his infamously wild parties just sounds weird. And the rumors didn't help. This entire TD, Jake, and Diddy connection is giving me serious side-eye. There were rumors circulating that Jake was too close to some dubious activities taking place at those events, and that he must be involved in them. Although it damaged his impeccable reputation, Jakes deserves credit for his ability to remain composed in the face of difficulty. He continued to preach, carry out his routine, and maintain that he had nothing to conceal. You have to agree, whether you believe him or not. The man certainly understands how to handle adversity. Nevertheless, there seems to be more to this whole narrative, don't you think? While Monique's criticism of TV Jakes is admirable, Diddy's former bodyguard is suddenly endorsing her. Things just became serious. Here, we're not talking about some unknown person. Gene Deal was Diddy's right-hand man, the man who witnessed everything, so when he claims to have seen TD Jake at his parties, you can be sure he's telling the truth. Moreover, the details Gene is providing seem to match exactly with what Monique has been saying, according to two entirely different sources that corroborate each other's account.
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin, drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making, man, he making the Christians look real bad right about now.
And you been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah, I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards. So I know what goes on at the parties. If, they probably got a little bit more freakier, as time went on, because they got to the point whereas that they didn't even care. It used to be secretly, where people used to go to, separate rooms and different rooms, and they wasn't doing that out in the public, but now they don't care. Men kissing men and all this other man, it's crazy. It's hard to even talk about why would you find a religious man, when you know that the saints supposed to separate themselves from the sinners, and why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bruh? Whether it's drinking, maybe fornicating, maybe, like I said, men on men, women on women. It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on at the parties. It's hard, brother. Bruh, you can't, I really don't know why, as a spiritual advisor to him, that they buddy while he got a party with him like that and be at his parties. It's got to be, maybe it's something more that meets the eye. I don't know. I've had, I've talked to preachers and I've talked to reverends and priests, but they ain't never came to a party with me or nothing like that. So it's hard to figure that one out, bruh, without even saying, what people might be thinking. But I heard that there's supposed to be some tapes or something that's coming out real soon. And I guess we'll all really know the truth if anything's on those tapes.
You are aware that when you have nothing to conceal, you don't attempt to stop others from speaking. TD Jakes appears much more guilty in light of his response. By attempting to cut the talk short, it seems as though he is validating their fears. The last person you want to threaten is Monique. Let's face it. She has shown that she is fearless and capable of facing any challenger, even Oprah and Tyler Perry. The entire situation resembles a powder keg that is about to blow. It seems like we're only beginning to scrape the surface of something much darker and larger, with lawsuits flying all over the place and more people coming forward with their experiences. Rumors regarding TD Jakes' dubious friendships are escalating into a major crisis. You can be sure that Monique will stand her ground, so fasten your seatbelt because this ride is going to get bumpy. She isn't going to back down from this battle, especially with 50 Cent on her side. They are confronting the wealthy and powerful, and they won't give up until the truth is known. This is about more than simply the controversy in Hollywood. It's about exposing the hypocrisy that frequently lurks beneath power and wealth, as well as about accountability and justice.
Listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million.
The pastor is attempting to contain the damage now that his name has been mentioned. Some even claim that Cassie's terrible relationship with the rapper was caused by her attempts to expose Puff and his social group. Yes, you heard correctly. There's still more. Now, Monique and 50 were vehemently opposed to the actions of influential personalities in the entertainment sector, whom they dubbed Bishop and the Tycoon. They saw both men as master manipulators who took use of African American artists for their own financial benefit, dictating storylines and providing few opportunities in exchange for taking the lion's share of the revenues. The way these individuals promoted themselves as leaders of the Black community while feeding negative stereotypes and restricting artistic freedom infuriated Monique in particular. Recognized for his astute observations, 50 cited Bishop's tight contracts as proof of his abusive behavior. It was clear to Monique and 50 that something needed to change, with a focus on Black artists taking back control of their own stories and lives. And fans are starting to see the bond between these two. Recently, someone tweeted on X, Diddy shared a passage from Bishop T.D. Jakes' sermon about weathering the storm with stability.
Each artist should be allowed to pursue their artistic endeavor. But I still think a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery, but we could do better.
After 50 Cent made public remarks and the media frenzy that followed, Tyler Perry seemed to have gone into damage control mode. He had to quickly neutralize the threat to his well-constructed image. And how did he try to get 50 Cent to shut up? By using a strategy for which he is renowned, hanging the prospect of cooperation. All of a sudden, rumors about possible projects started to spread. Rumors surfaced about 50 Cent working together behind the scenes, and there were suggestions that he might appear in a Tyler Perry production. It was a traditional charm offensive, feigning cooperation and common objectives. The queen of feel-good movies, Tyler Perry, was holding out his hand to welcome 50 Cent into his realm. Everyone is wondering if Tyler Perry intended for this to be a premeditated move to quiet a critical voice. Did he think that by using the glamour of Hollywood fame to placate 50 Cent, he could effectively neutralize a danger to his empire? Many people are wondering, and the response could provide important insight into the power struggles taking place in this developing drama. Was 50 Cent fooled by the pretense, or was he drawn in by the possibilities? According to TMZ, Tyler Perry is praising 50's and even hinted at the possibility of combining two production titans for a future project. They reportedly met at Tyler Perry Studios in Georgia, and both of them said the encounter went really well. Call me cynical, but there's something so convenient about this whole thing. Tyler Perry wants to collaborate with 50 Cent. When the latter begins to expose Perry, everything seems to be saying, join him if you can't beat him. Is Tyler Perry genuinely awestruck by 50 Cent's enterprise, or is this only a calculated ploy to hedge against his rivals? Though it's certainly something to consider, I'm not suggesting that's the case. Perry is lavishing the praise, telling TMZ that he is happy for 50 Cent's success and is open to working with him on any projects. It's as if he's rolling out the red carpet. People, it's becoming more and more difficult to ignore this. It's as though Tyler Perry skipped ahead to the most obvious strategy in how to silence your critics 101 and showered them with compliments and opportunities. Is this a sincere appreciation of 50 Cent's business sense or a premeditated move to dissuade a possible threat? You make the decision. Furthermore, fans are genuinely interested in knowing if Medea will face Power's Monet Tijada. Alright, that's very funny right now. That paired together, let alone in the same universe, is beyond my comprehension. It's like combining water and oil, or perhaps better described as combining holy water with whatever it is that Monet does to anoint her goods. However, perhaps that is the purpose. Perhaps the entire idea is so absurd and bizarre that it's actually brilliant. You have to admit, Tyler Perry is essentially attempting to purchase 50 Cent's silence, so it's kind of like a shiny thing used as a distraction tactic. It functions. Rather of discussing the real claims that sparked this whole controversy, everyone is focusing about Medea and Monet. Tyler Perry is an expert at deceit. I'll grant him that, and to be honest, Perry seems to be succeeding with his ruse. Tyler is out there praising 50 Cent, but in recent days, 50 has been notably less critical of Perry. Fans are guessing and raising their eyebrows in response to this abrupt change in tone. Some people firmly believe Perry is playing chess rather than checkers. They think he's figured out a way to use the prospect of successful partnerships as leverage on 50 Cent, forcing him to comply. They contend that 50 has first-hand knowledge of what transpired to Monique when she dared to question the Hollywood establishment. Is he prepared to take a chance on suffering the same outcome, particularly with someone like Tyler Perry, who has such great success potential? Some believe that 50 Cent is just cooperating and utilizing Perry's own strategy against him. They regard it as a calculated move, a means of gaining access to Perry's power and resources, while surreptitiously arranging his next course of action. The quiet in this case is really a front, a premeditated calm before the storm. What is truly happening behind the scenes will only become clear with time. That being said, this is by no means finished. Tyler Perry and 50 Cent are playing to win, and the game is on. So, what are your thoughts? Is 50 truly afraid of the studio head?
People automatically assume he had to have done something because you hear how everybody would, you get this role in Hollywood, you had to have done something. So now all of a sudden my podcast is moving up the ranks.
What
both
you
of
do?
them. So people automatically assume, man, look here, man, I don't play like that.
What's more important to you, credibility or going viral?
A lot of times, Cam, I don't even know. I didn't know that it was going to go viral. A lot of these clips that go viral.
I don't think they could cancel Shannon Sharpe. You know why? He's too popular with everyday black people. Shannon Sharpe, Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe, he has a podcast. And he interviewed Cat Williams, and Cat Williams exposed everybody. Shannon Sharpe played the whole interview. Before Shannon Sharpe interviewed Cat Williams, he interviewed Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey felt, Oprah felt, that Shannon Sharpe should have been a little bit more protective of the reputations of the persons discussed on his platform. And he was not so when interviewing Cat Williams, and he has not been so when interviewing other people as well. Shannon Sharpe broke the Hollywood rule.
Things are going to become really interesting, guys. Shannon Sharpe is not one to back down, is he? He has now come out against Tyler Perry and Oprah for supposedly attempting to ruin his career. Furthermore, what do you know? This isn't just a haphazard rant. The queen of keeping it real, Monique, has long said that Oprah and her entourage have a tendency to silence black talent, particularly if they dare to defy authority. But no one was interested in listening then. Monique's truth was disregarded and treated as insignificant. However, right now, these same thoughts are now being expressed by Shannon Sharpe, a legend in the athletics world and, as of late, an internet celebrity. It appears that they misjudged the people they were interacting with. There's going to be a mess, but you know we'll be here for the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you this, and I want somebody to send it to you. And I've been seeing it in the chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm with you.
My name again, and I'm gonna release the DM because you're lying.
Yeah.
You said I reached out to you to come on Club Shay Shay, and you a mofo lie.
But hold on, what actually transpired? As you can see, Shannon Sharpe was doing something right. He would have these famous people on his show, and they would talk like really talk. Not just the standard PR-approved spiel, but actual casual talks. Shannon had a certain way about him. Even though you were, a major celebrity, he made you feel like you were just talking with a friend. People adored it. Seeing these legendary people be honest, transparent, and share their experiences was energizing. There was a brief period of time when everything was positive.
This is what we're trying to accomplish, and this is showing the negative side of this other society, and this is our hero. This is our hero who's going to go do America's bidding and go over there, and you're like, okay. And those movies are successful, and so they continue this relationship, and you become a bit of a propaganda arm for the government, and in turn they don't with you.
Then he turned on Cat Williams. Cat is a different breed, isn't he? Funny guy, for sure, but he always had that edge to him that said, I'm going to be honest even if it hurts. Everyone was aware that this interview would be unique before it began. The energy in the air was almost palpable, and it really did not let me down. Pat made a bold entrance. He was discussing anything and everything, personal matters, social concerns, you name it. And he wasn't trying to mince words.
I remember when I did Cam, I remember getting up and I turned back and I look at my Cat, and I look at my producer and he's shaking his head. I'm like, oh man, we done messed up. So I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? Did he? He like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
It was quite captivating because of that. You was unable to turn away. It was as if you were seeing a slow-motion vehicle disaster, only instead of a car crash, you were staring at a burning societal commentary. Things were never the same after that interview. All of a sudden, everyone was glued to Shannon's show. These days, it was more about the talks than it was about the big names and the potential for another explosion of truth. Shannon was just keeping up with Cat Williams, who didn't just raise the bar. He blew the darn thing up.
I don't. I've never been propositioned. I've never been approached. I work, I try to create the best content that I possibly can. I try to create content that I feel that my viewing and listening audience want to see, want to hear. And that's the team that I've assembled. That's our job, is to try to create the best content.
Indeed. Following the release of that Cat Williams interview, things were, to put it mildly, intense. You see, Cat didn't just say what was on his mind. He also called out several huge names in the industry, including A-list celebrities and heavyweights. And let me tell you, he didn't hold back.
This is going to be viral for the whole year. I said, come on, man. I say, so I'm thinking at that point in time, Steve Harvey is my is my most viewed podcast. He's at 8 million. I said, you think we're going to beat Steve? He's like, yeah. I'm hoping for 10 million. Yeah. That's all, Cam, if I get 10 million, I'm like, that's a pretty good interview. Yeah. Think about how few people that's in this space that interview people that don't get 10 million. Sure. So if I get 10 million, that's one of the biggest podcasts. Now, that's not Joe Rogan's numbers, but that's pretty good for an up-and-coming podcast. So I felt good.
The retaliation was severe and quick. People were taking sides, social media was ablaze, and the court of public opinion was sitting. Shannon, a person that people had always liked and trusted, was suddenly targeted. In an interview, he even acknowledged that dealing with the negativity was difficult. Although he was aware that the Cat interview would generate controversy, he didn't believe anyone had anticipated it would go viral to that degree. It appeared as though the entire entertainment sector was keeping a close eye on him to see how he would handle the aftermath.
I gotta have a real stable at-home situation to understand. I got meetings, I got study, I gotta train, the way I eat, the way I sleep. I have to understand that.
I'm gay now because Cat conducted the interview. As Cat conducted the interview, my name is Wendy Williams. I write gossip column. Cat did alert me, Shannon, a former NFL player who spent 14 seasons in the league, mostly with the Denver Broncos, has always been a respected figure, both on and off the field. He said, "Be prepared because it's going to come." He responded, "When I played sports, I expected the opposing team's fans to dislike me. But in Hollywood, I had no idea it would be like this." Sharpe continued. "I would be lying if I told you I expected this, and it got personal to people were coming at him for everything, even attacking his quality. He moved from playing sports to doing sports commentary with ease, appearing frequently on ESPN's First Take with the inimitable Stephen A. Smith, and going on to achieve even greater success with his own podcast, Club Shishi. He had kept his reputation as a straight shooter, someone who always gave respect while calling things as they were throughout it all. Therefore, it truly hurt to have people disparage his reputation, call into doubt his morality, and circulate false information about his legitimacy. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he even said that dealing with the homophobic attacks was the most difficult aspect of the backlash. It just served to highlight how nasty things can get and how easily people will turn their disagreements into personal attacks, particularly in the frequently poisonous realm of social media. He claimed that social media has a big influence when someone persistently questions a straight man's sexual orientation. In 2016, a man made it to the White House and started saying things over and over again, to the point where people began to believe him. People will accept statements you make as true even if they are false if you say them often enough. Sharpe continued, "It's not acceptable to say somebody is gay. You cannot persuade me that it is acceptable. It's not. Furthermore, It extended beyond merely anonymous trolls on social media. In their stand-up acts, other performers Mike Epps and Eddie Griffin even poked fun at Shannon's F** in reality. The damage was done even though both comedians later expressed regret. It just demonstrated how nasty things could get and how fast people, especially in the frequently poisonous realm of social media, would resort to personal attacks when they didn't agree with you. Sharpe told Dar that individuals frequently hide things in jokes.
I felt very, very good because I knew the size of the lady game.
Rocks, yeah.
No Diddy, Pete Paul's now. I'm just saying. I just knew that. Cause I know they just wait. They wait.
Yeah, they waiting on you.
We knew I'm talking about in basketball terms. Don't y'all be going to. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just the one time. I'm saying it for Ocho and I on Nightcap. No Diddy.
It wasn't just any interview that Cat gave. The man went on a nearly 3-hour tirade about everything and everyone. He had issues with people in the entertainment business, Hollywood, the music industry, you name it, and even with party invitations. Cat suspected that Cedric, the comedian, had stolen his jokes. It seemed to be a long list of grievances that Shannon had expressed. It makes sense why many were upset. It was like witnessing someone throw a bomb into a celebrity-filled room before leaving Cooley and Shannon, whether he meant it or not, became the one with the pin. And, my goodness, the things Cat was saying were insane. You know, he kind of went after Ricky Smiley, declared that unless the person was dressed in a dress, he wouldn't work with him again. To his credit, Shannon didn't seem to believe that one. He inquired even as to Cat's reasoning for including such a thing in a contract. But Cat, he went all in, saying something along the lines of, "That's where he's a credible actor. He plays good women, and Tyler Perry can't portray a male to save their lives." Can you even begin to comprehend the absolute disdain and audacity? It appeared as though he was attempting to make everyone laugh. Sadly, it was successful. After this crazy conversation had been going on for almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, Cat focused on Tyler Perry, the man behind the Median movies and TV series, among many others. Currently, Tyler Perry is a major force in the entertainment business, well known for giving Black performers and crew workers opportunities. Cat, though, was unimpressed. He launched into a tirade about how Tyler wasn't actually making someone famous or using his power to make someone else famous. He implied that the majority of the actors in Tyler Perry plays weren't receiving the same opportunity or publicity as Tyler by pointing out that they could go through a mall without being noticed. Then Cat went a bit farther and brought up Tyler's sexual orientation. He implied that if Tyler was genuinely interested in boosting the Black community, he ought to be supporting other Black LGBT+ actors by essentially challenging Tyler to put some other homosexual individuals on. He went so far as to call Tyler a gatekeeper, someone who could have opened doors for others but refrained from doing so. It was a daring, contentious comment that fueled the already blazing controversy surrounding the interview. Cat brought up Oprah just when you thought he could push the envelope anymore. You see, there had been whispers about Oprah and Tyler Perry for years. Accusations that they had mistreated another extraordinarily gifted Black actress named Monique. Cat embraced the debate without holding back. He made the implication that Tyler ought to be even more mindful about promoting other African American artists, particularly those who have been disregarded or sidelined by the business, in light of Oprah's purported actions. Cat contended that Tyler was involved in the system that kept some people down by failing to take action. Cat referred to him as a gatekeeper, someone who could have altered the course of events but choose to follow the established guidelines. It was a daring charge that linked a number of well-known scandals and placed Tyler Perry at the center of them all. You couldn't ignore the fact that he was posing some unsettling queries regarding authority, representation, and responsibility in Hollywood, regardless of your agreement with Cat. You have to give Shannon Sharpe some credit for persevering through all of this. He was truly a saint. Imagine this. Shannon is sitting comfortably in his chair, nodding along and occasionally smiling while Cat Williams is going off and delivering bombshells left and right. He embodied the saying, "I'm only here for the tea." With Tat, he realized he had a live wire on his hands. Someone who wouldn't back down from a controversial statement, consequences be damned. And rather than try to control him, censor him, or change the topic, Shannon chose to back off and let Tat do his thing. He was the epitome of the hype man, establishing an environment in which Tat was free to let his hair down, even if it meant upsetting some very influential people. But Tyler Perry and Oprah? Yes, they did not find it funny. They were reportedly furious that Shannon provided Tad with a forum to express all of this dirty laundry. They interpreted it as a betrayal, an indication that Shannon was picking a side in this convoluted Hollywood play, and they believed he had made the wrong decision. It seemed to them that he had given Tad a platform and a spotlight, enabling him to openly belittle them without any opposition. It was very painful for Oprah. Her profession had been based on her advocacy of positivism, empowerment, and speaking up for the voiceless. It hurt a lot to have someone on her alleged friend's platform call her a gatekeeper and implicate her in preventing others from moving forward. It made her defensive and called into question her carefully constructed persona. Tyler Perry was apparently even more incensed. In the process of building his empire, he had given innumerable Black performers and crew workers opportunities. It felt like a smack in the face to have his accomplishments downplayed. His intentions called into doubt, and his sexuality turned into a weapon against him. This felt like a direct assault on his legacy and image, which he had always passionately guarded. The interview had immediate and serious consequences. Wildfire rumors of tension behind the scenes and feuds arose. People chose sides, relationships were forged and shattered, and the entire incident turned into a cautionary tale about the influence of words and the erratic behavior of public figures. Cat fanned the flames even more just as you thought the dust was starting to settle. He began discussing his personal experiences in Hollywood, saying he had long struggled with salary disparity. He hinted that he had lost out on opportunities and financial gain as a result of his candor and readiness to challenge the establishment. Then he made a shocking revelation. Then, with even more fervor, he dropped a bombshell. Had Oprah silenced her detractors with her power? Did her well-maintained image have a darker side? Cat's cryptic warnings and Oprah's silence on the subject only served to feed the question's persistence. Certain stories claim that Oprah was incensed with Shannon and Cat for providing him with a platform. Rumors circulated about possible legal action, as well as covert efforts to undermine Cat and limit the harm. It was a major Hollywood scandal of the sort that could propel a person to stardom or ruin them. In a technical sense, however, Oprah and Perry did harm Monique's career, so Cat and Shannon aren't really in the wrong. That's what she says anyway.
Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and Black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that. I've never worked with Tyler Perry.
Okay.
I never worked with Tyler Perry. The way that relationship came about was, firstly, Daniel was making the call because he was mad because he thought Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey was trying to steal his movie from him. So those were the first phone calls I was getting, baby, and he was reading them for life, okay, calling them all things.
For those of you who are unaware, Oprah and Perry are said to have pursued Monique, which is what sparked all of this commotion. Okay, let's go back in time and take a brief walk down memory lane to 2009. At that point, Precious was released on theaters. This was no ordinary movie, though. It was full of amazing performances that held the attention of the audience, and it was based on a genuine story. Monique, who portrayed Mary Lee Johnston, the violent mother of the main character, gave one of the best performances. She was a long way from her typical humorous roles, but she really nailed this one. The next year, she won an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for her outstanding performance. However, there was some major drama developing behind the scenes of Precious as Monique was enjoying the limelight from her victories. Things got a little tense when, ahead of award season, Monique was asked to appear at the Cannes Film Festival in France to promote the film.
Then Tyler Perry and I had a conversation at the Hoodie Award. At the time, it was called the Hoodie Award, when they were trying to get me to go do all of this press internationally.
And for those that don't know, who put on that Hoodie Award?
Steve Harvey put on the Hoodie Awards in Vegas, right? So it just makes me smile the way this whole scene went down. So I'm beckoned to go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, right? I'm beckoned. So I go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, and there are about maybe 25 people on Tyler Perry's team. And he does this.
Like that. Okay.
And everyone leaves. Well, I have my security with me. And I looked at my security like, you don't work for Tyler Perry. So my security stayed in the room. So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler. So then he goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not gonna do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
It's got a little tense when, ahead of award season, Monique was asked to appear at the Cannes Film Festival in France to promote the film. Tyler Perry and I had a conversation at the time it was called the Hoodie Award, when they were trying to get me to go do all of this press internationally. You see, the film's producers were none other than Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, who wore the Hoodie Award. For those who are unaware, in Vegas, Steve Harvey won the Hoodie Award, correct? So, the way this entire thing played out simply makes me smile. I'm called into Tyler Perry's dressing room, and I see that his crew consists of maybe 25 members. And he acts in this way, in that manner, and all of them walk away. Well, I'm carrying my security. I said to myself, you don't work for Tyler Perry, as I glanced at my security. My security therefore remained in the room. Tyler Perry tells me, listen, you might want to think about promoting this movie, for the reason that your next project will cost between $3 and $5 million if you receive an Oscar nomination. And if you win, you'll get $6 to $8 million for your next movie. Tyler, I asked, with whom are you speaking? I'm a female black person. Brother, where do they get paid salaries like that? What I can't do, Tyler, is work for free, I said. I've completed the task at hand. Tyler, I can't travel abroad and do this for free. He then continues with his pitch, you know. Well, listen, you may write me a check so I can travel abroad, I added. I won't work for free. It doesn't matter where the money comes from. Well, I don't think money should be given away for free, he continues. I don't believe in working for free, I stated. Thus, we are in agreement. Oprah, I'm hosting a talk show, I said. I'm touring comedy shows. My spouse and I have children. I will make the most of this brief window of opportunity. I'm not required to go anyplace, so I'm not going anywhere. I've carried out my share. This is where things got interesting, though, after she told The Hollywood Reporter. Monique says she was shunned by the industry shortly after the Cannes event. She feels that being branded as tough to work with negatively impacted her career. Years later, Monique is still calling for justice. She demands that Tyler Perry and Oprah provide a formal apology. You may be wondering why at this point. This is the tea then. Monique claims that Lee Daniels has since extended an apology to her in public for his role in her career's demise. She asserts that Tyler Perry and Oprah haven't followed suit. She claims that they have been silent and have refused to accept their role in the entire event. Monique is therefore demanding accountability rather than merely an apology. She seems to be saying, "I won't be silenced or pushed aside," as if she's getting up. To be honest, we're not shocked because Mo has a reputation for speaking her mind. Let's now discuss the conflict between Monique and Oprah. It seems that after Oprah asked Monique's family to appear on her talk show, things only got worse. They were there to talk about Monique's childhood abuse, a very private matter that was laid bare for the world to see. This did not exactly fill Monique with optimism.
The community is involved, and they want to see how it's going to play out. Because the community is saying, wait a minute, hold up. We don't know this sister to be no bullshitter. We know she a loudmouth. We know she'll say some shit off the wall. But what we know about it is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong?
Tyler.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that that was wrong? Or am I missing something? So the question I would say is,
is there a number? Taking that back to them was just a huge problem, okay? And I'm going to say a couple of things in a minute, because I just watched your podcast, and it really broke my heart, because number one, I feel you. I feel the sadness that's from you in all of this. And I don't want you to feel that. I mean, especially from me. I can't speak for anybody else. But from me, I'm not anyone that wants to hurt or offend anybody, especially you. I think you are brilliantly talented. I think you should have a lot more happening that award. I thought for sure that if you had campaigned and won it and played by their rules, what would have happened is in the next deal, you would have got more money, millions of dollars, and your career in the film would have been much different. I believe that much in your talent. So in saying all of that, I just say it's just heartbreaking, because I don't ever want you to think that I'm now trying to blackball or say anything. Please give me what I say. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you.
if Monique asked Lionsgate for a favor and they told her no, and she's asking for a favor that is not contractual, not something that they're contractually obligated to do, and they told her no, but then she went and told the world how difficult that they were, do you think that that would be fair or unfair?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair.
So the question I would ask of you, good sir, because I appreciate you being honest enough to answer that with a relative quickness. I really do. So the question that I would ask you is this: if we should do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves, the question I would ask is, how do you sit back, or how would you feel if someone said about you that you were difficult to work with because you didn't want to perform for them a function that you were not contractually able or obligated to do? How would you feel about that?
Well, as I said, that's not fair. If I bring a movie for Monique over there, I'm going to have to say it. I'm going to have to defend it. I'm going to have to fight for it.
Well, it's easy. It's easy because all you would be doing is telling the truth. You are 6'6" black man. Okay?
Listen, I ain't got no problem, man. I ain't got no problem. Trust me when I tell you, I ain't got no problem.
Well, that's why we saying then say it now. Say it now.
Say it now, I'm black and I'm proud.
Come on.
James Brown is counting.
I'm saying it now. I will let all this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know it's going to come up. That is when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heated it up.
One thing that stood out in that conversation, it ended with the notion that he was about to speak publicly to start defending you, or kind of let people know, hey, she was actually right. Did that ever happen? Did he ever come to your defense?
No. In the event that Monique requested a favor from Lionsgate and they declined, then they are not legally required to grant her request. And they declined her request. However, she then went public and revealed how challenging they were. Would you consider that to be fair or unfair? No, that isn't just. It's not just like that. That being said, nice guy, I would like to ask you a question because I sincerely appreciate your honesty in responding to it so quickly. Therefore, I would like to ask you this. If the golden rule is that we should treat people as we would like to be treated, then how would you respond or feel? If someone said that you were hard to work with because you refused to do something for them that you weren't legally required to do or able to perform, what would your thoughts be on that? Well, that's unfair, as I mentioned. I will have to say if I bring a movie, or if I bring a movie from Monique over there, I will have to give a defense for it. I'll have to put up a battle for it. It's really not that hard. Since all you would be doing is telling the truth, it is simple. You're a black dude, 6'6". I don't have any issues, dude. I don't have any issues. Believe me when I say I don't have any problems. It's why we said it back then, boy. I am going to tell you. Say it now then. Declare it right now. Declare today that I'm pleased to be black. Hurry up. James Brown has his sights set on it. Now that I've said it, I'll let all of this nonsense go when I return to the press tour. I can advertise my next project since I am certain it will happen. And yes, I will discuss it. But it's too hot, too hot, too hot. You guys really turned it up. One thing that really stuck out in that conversation was that it concluded with him saying he was going to start coming out in public to defend you or to kind of admit that, she was right. Was it ever the case? Has he ever defended you against anyone? No. Monique remarked. We don't know the sister is a bull. We are aware of her noisy mouth. We anticipate her making some bizarre remarks. However, based on what we know about her, she keeps her word. There's still more. Perry declared, I'm not someone who wants to hurt or upset anyone, especially you. I consider you to be incredibly gifted. You ought to be doing a lot more, in my opinion. I was positive that you would have received millions of dollars more in the next movie, and your career in this one would have taken a very different turn if you had run your campaign the way they wanted and followed their guidelines. I think you have a lot of talent. Perry added, Please hear me when I say this. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you. I don't ever want you to think that I'm out trying to blackball or saying anything suspicious. However, their chat didn't finish there. Perry once declared that he would be forced to battle and defend Monique if he brought her a movie. Seems like a fairly good pledge, doesn't it? Here's the catch, though. Monique insisted that he tell her over the phone. She desired to hear him express that promise to her personally. Perry, though, he turned it down. Thus, it appears that Perry wasn't quite ready to commit to Monique, despite his apparent attempts to patch things up. It's as if we're all simply watching, waiting to see what he'll do next, and he was only ready to go so far before giving up. Perry responded, I'm not saying it now. I'll let all of this cool off. I'm sure it will come up, and I'll talk about it when I go back on the press tour to promote my next project. And this is adored by devotees. Someone posted, Monique has Tyler Perry on tape, acknowledging that he assaulted and mistreated her. Shannon offered Tyler Perry a platform to defend the content on the audio, giving the impression that he had heard it before the interview. I'm relieved that she is finally able to let go of this burden. It was a big one to bear, even from your own people. I adore Auntie and find her an inspiration since she embodies Black courage and strong women. However, other Perry supporters held a different viewpoint. She didn't do herself any favors by doing this, one person wrote. Now who would ever want to collaborate with her? It seems as though he is holding her accountable for decisions she makes or refrains from making. Is there something I'm missing, or why is he accountable? You gotta get in line to be in Hollywood. In essence, that is what he said. Everyone is free to make their own decisions. He doesn't need to represent her everywhere he goes. It's because of this that she has a loud, arrogant spouse who seems to be speaking for her. In addition, Monique used to look up to Winfrey long before they ever met, which brings up the whole Oprah controversy. When she appeared on the local talk show People Are Talking in Baltimore, the state where they both reside, she became a huge fan of hers. Distractify claims that Monique once stated on Club She that she was inspired to pursue fame by seeing Winfrey, who bore a striking resemblance to her. Then came all that hoopla surrounding the film Precious. When Winfrey brought Monique's estranged brother Gerald Imes onto the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2010, things really got heated. At that point, he admitted that when he was only 13 and Monique was only 7 or 8, they had an asterisk. According to Today, the information was very startling. Ians continued, "I have betrayed the trust of another sibling, my sister, my blood sister. I'm sorry, Monique, I'm sorry." Now, Shannon's claiming that they're going after people who want to appear on his show. He's saying they're threatening them and trying to get his show canceled. Can you believe that? It's a pretty serious accusation, in my opinion. And get this, Shannon also mentioned that he made a good chunk of change from his interview with Kat. Apparently, the two bigwigs weren't too happy about that either. It sounds like they weren't thrilled about him profiting from that interview.